We're Matt and Louise, we're the founders of Pineapple Interiors. We've got a design studio based in Pimlico and we work on a range of projects throughout the UK and Europe.
I would say we strive for laid-back luxury. I would also describe it as transitional, so blending old and new, taking the traditional bones and honouring those bones, but then adding a contemporary twist, whatever that might be. It's really important that the personality of the people who live in that home should shine through in whatever the design is. So when you walk through the front door, you know who lives there, you know who the people are that inhabit that space. And I would say, if I'm being honest, actually I quite like a bit of glam. I'm recently doing our own house in Pimlico and I like Mirror. I honestly couldn't tell you what I would be if I wasn't an interior designer. Since I was a child, well, I think moving home very often allowed me to redesign my room, but when we weren't moving, I would move my bed, I would paint different colours of walls, I'd spend my summer holidays in Laura Ashley choosing accessories and doing vignettes, so it really is something that I've always loved doing.
If I wasn't an interior designer, what would I be? Well, I filled out a form, is it an ACAS or UCAS form for, you know, A-levels or what have you, and it came back as a deep sea fisherman. That's true, that's true. That is true.
My most used paint colour, I like neutrals, I do like neutrals on the walls. My go-to colours are Jonquil by Edward Bulmer, which is a gentleman's pink, you could say, but just beautiful. I also like Slipper Satin by Farrow & Ball, it's a slightly warmer neutral. And then also there's a colour called Slate Lime by Little Green, which is quite white, it's quite neutral. Still a neutral, but it's slightly whiter, there's some grey in there. But it just gives that Parisian loft vibe, but it's still warm and soft. One of my top tips to create a really elevated room is to use moulding on the wall. You don't have to go to your local hardware store. There's a company called Orac who do beautiful mouldings in all different designs. You can apply them in various different ways and you can put wallpaper or mirror within them and it really helps to elevate the space.
One thing that people don't know about us, well, we're actually married. I think a lot of people don't necessarily know that.
Yeah, for how many years? 10 years? 12 years? 11 years? Yeah. Somewhere around there.
Something like that.
Favourite room to design in a house is, it's probably a room with the most amount of fabric that I could possibly shove in. So I like a bathroom, I like a kitchen, but a living room or a bedroom, somewhere I can layer as many patterns, textures and fabrics and wall coverings as I possibly can. That's where my heart lies. Well, we're actually designing our house at the moment. And I think it's going to be our primary bedroom. So we've got some moulding on the wall, we've got some silk wallpaper, and we've got a triangular headboard which is upholstered in a Loro Piana fabric. So excited to see it come to life.
My favourite room will probably be the kitchen, I would say. I love designing kitchens anyway, but we've really tried to we've really tried to layer this space and go one step further. We've used marquetry on the doors, we've got a high gloss ceiling, we've got a combination of different woods going on, cladding all of the walls in wood as well, mirror, paneling, so hopefully it's going to look good.
Hopefully. One of my non-negotiables for interior design is probably lighting. If a room is badly lit, then it doesn't matter how beautiful it is, you won't get that warm, cozy atmosphere. You want to think about task lighting and you want to think about low-level lighting at the night time. My favourite hotel for interior design was designed by Fabrizio Casaraghi. He's a fabulous interior designer. I'm obsessed with his work. And he designed the Grand Hotel Bellevue in London. And he did a collaboration with Bode, who is a stunning clothing designer, and they made this embroidered wallpaper, and it's to die for.
I'm less of a fan of hotels. I prefer we spend a lot of time in the Cotswolds, so I like more cozy, sort of, you know, room above a pub type thing, little annexes. So yeah, I just like to feel like I'm at home when I go away, so probably a little bit more laid back for me. The rooms that we've designed for Glasshouse are an amalgamation of 10 years of experience working across a whole range of different schemes, different projects. I think it comes down to everything really. It's the spatial planning. People have a tendency of pushing all their furniture to the walls, so it's getting the right proportions of furniture in the room. Having
big bedside lamp.
Big bedside lamps, or the right size of rug, the right size of sofa, and then the layering of textures, materials, accessories, lighting. It's the whole thing that I think when you're trying to do this on your own just becomes decision overload, but we're trying to give you a shortcut to that brings it all together and gives you a really great scheme.